Hi, this is Pat Grady from Embellishing Bliss. It's been about a month since we finished our Navigate the Journey class, and I wanted to check in with you to see how things were going. I'm hoping that you have been able to work into your schedule the visual journal, that it's not just something that you did for the 6 weeks that we worked together and now it's, kind of sitting in your studio or on a table completely neglected. I hope that you've been able to work it into your schedule so it's something that you do, if not on a daily basis, at least on a weekly basis. But the main reason that I wanted to touch base with you today is that I have come across something that I wanted to share with you. I take piano lessons, and there's a guy that takes lessons in front of me that has been unemployed for about 9 months. And he was telling about different things that he does to prepare for an interview. And he was talking about the different questions that are asked of him in an interview. And he said one of the more popular questions is, if you could describe yourself in one word, what would that word be and why? And I have to tell you, that really made me stop and think. I was trying to figure out what would that word be for me. And that night, or that afternoon, I was actually having a Girl Scout meeting. And so I thought, this would be a good exercise for the Girl Scouts to have. And I have 6 Girl Scouts that were there that Friday night, and they're 9th graders, so they're 14 or 15 years old. And I have to say, it was not an easy task for them to figure out, what is one word that describes me. But they did it, and, I gave them a sheet of paper. They put some paint on it, just like we do with our journals, used markers, and came up with a word that described themselves. Then one of the girls had an amazing idea. She said, what if we put the names in a bowl or something, and we each draw a name of someone else, and then you write one word that we think describes them. So they did that, and they did it a couple of different times, and it was kind of fun because once they were finished, then the person who drew the word would hold it up, and everyone else had to guess who it was that they were describing. And they then told why they used that word to describe them, and it actually meant a lot to the girls, and I think it was eye-opening for them to see how their friends perceived them. So it really got me thinking about it. So the next day in my journal, I decided to really take a look at me and figure out what word would I use to describe me. So I was thinking about it, and I thought the word would either be inspire or encourage. And I have to tell you, at least initially, I kind of liked the word inspire because I thought it was a prettier word. But I really feel that encourage is what I'm meant to do, that I really want to encourage you. So here I put some purple and pink on the page, and then I took the white paint and came up with this great big E and wrote encouraging. And then I wrote, what would be one word I would use to describe myself, and then the other piece of it would be why. So I would like you to go ahead and do this on your own. Figure out what word describes you, and then write it in your journal, and why. And then the third piece of that, so number 1, figure out the word. Number 2, why does that word best describe you? And then number 3, how are you going to build that into your life? How are you going to make that even more important? And once you do that, I would strongly encourage you to do this for someone else. Take just a basic sheet of paper, and I actually did it for the guy that takes piano lessons ahead of me, the one who's been unemployed. I did the word dedicated for him. And on the back of his, so I did it with fun markers and paint, and then on the back of it I wrote why I felt he was dedicated. That he was dedicated to piano, that he was a family man, and that he was really dedicated to this job search. Then for my piano teacher, I did the word understanding, because she has this amazing way of understanding where her students are at, and not only understanding that, but understanding how to reach them where they're at and guide them to where they need to be. So once you've done this for yourself, I would strongly encourage you to do this for a friend or a family member, and then on the back of it write why you chose that word for them. And I think it's just a nice gift that doesn't cost any money that you can give to someone else that will be encouraging or helpful to them. So I hope you have an opportunity to do this and work a little bit more in your journey, and know that the journey didn't end with the 6 weeks. I strongly encourage you to continue working in your journal. Maybe before you actually come up with the one word, you want to use it as a prompt to say, what word is the one word that describes me? And do a little bit of writing about it and journaling, and then maybe after a couple of days figure out what that one word is. And when you've had an opportunity to do it, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email. Let me know what your word is. I'd love to know what you've done with this, and anything else that you've been doing in your journey, in your journal, so that I can catch up with you. Have a great day, and I hope to be hearing from you soon.